did Patrick Mahomes deserve to be Super Bowl MVP?
No, obviously not. Look, we all know the political campaigning that goes on in any industry, any business, especially the biggest event in sports every single year, the Super Bowl. I think Patrick Mahomes, they already had the M and the V given to him, and they were just waiting for him to go do anything to give him the P. And it's wild because Damian Williams went out there and was balling out of control, keeping this ship afloat while Patrick Mahomes was trying to figure out what his mental space was and where to throw the football. Unfair to Damian Williams, who had a stat line that would grade higher in his meeting room than Patrick Mahomes would in his meeting room. He also had 2 touchdowns. We also know that coming into this game with the stat line that Damian Williams had, 4 of the 5 running backs who had that stat line or greater in the Super Bowl all won MVP. Only one did not, and he didn't have name value either. His name was Timmy Smith. Remember him?
Timmy Smith didn't win MVP?
No, it was Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, yeah.
Yeah, so my point is he just lost because the back of the jersey, not because of the stat sheet, and that's unfortunate and it's unfair to my young man.
I mean, you really watched that game and felt like that Damian Williams was the reason why they won.
No, I felt that he was closer to the reason.
So let's take away.
Who salted the game away, Bucky?
Okay, let's take away that 38-yard run.
So now let's
take away the 38-yard run at the end of the game.
The game.
16 carries for 66 yards. I mean, that's what we're talking about. 16 carries for 60-something yards. That's MVP caliber.
Hold on. Sealing a game.
No, it was already sealed.
24-20 is not sealed.
As soon as he got that first down, he should have fell down.
When they stopped him
I'm trying to win MVP. I ain't falling down. What the hell you doing?
It's a wrap. No.
Patrick Mahomes should have won the MVP. Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, because in the
With
fourth
the worst
quarter.
rating ever.
Take all that away.
The guy who made the plays.
The guy who made the plays that were pivotal in the game. Pat Mahomes made the plays. The 3rd and 15, the big pass to Tyreek Hill, the big pass to Sammy Watkins, those were the game-changing plays. Damian Williams running up inside for 2 and 3 and 5 a pop.
Oh, you
that
don't
didn't
like
change the game.
Hold on. A 5-yard pass from Mahomes, a 1-yard pass from Mahomes, and a 1-yard run. Combined 7 yards and 3 touchdowns and pedestrian numbers in terms of between the 20s, and that's the MVP? He had 7 combined yards in his touchdowns. Y'all act like he lit it up. Will y'all stop?
You don't have to lit it up to be the most valuable player, but he was the most valuable player in the last quarter of that game.
Because he got curly hair. Because he cute. Because he Patrick Mahomes. Because he's the face of the NFL. Like, I'm not hating on him. I came up here last year and got almost walked off stage for saying how great Patrick Mahomes was when they played the L.A. Chargers and gave him 4 touchdowns. I said, he's next. Now, we're at a place where we just can't all of a sudden give likability or because we are rooting so hard that we're now looking at the real measurables and the numbers. He had a bad game. And he's the MVP?
I think bad game is too far.
Oh, by his standards. I'm not saying by what you and I would do out there. But Patrick Mahomes, you give us this stat line. He's never thrown multiple interceptions.
Hold on, Marcellus.
Never multiple interceptions by his standards.
286 passing yards.
And
the rushing yards, because he 15 yards.
Critical.
He surrendered 15 at the end. Seriously.
Or
he would have had like 40. Yeah, they were backwards. He ran backwards.
Okay, let's get these books.
And so literally, because again, Betters lost a lot of money because he backed up like 15 yards and cost Betters a bunch of money. And so he was going to be an effective rusher. He was an effective rusher for him. He threw for 286 yards. Again, he's a force multiplier. Damian Williams, trust me, if Shady McCoy or somebody else had been the running back there, Patrick Mahomes is still going to put up his numbers. If Patrick Mahomes is not their quarterback, trust me, these safeties eat up Damian Williams, and he doesn't run for 104 yards. So, look, no disrespect to Damian Williams. The guy that I actually thought was the second candidate for MVP, and this will sound crazy, but if you watch the game, Chris Jones forced the first interception. I know the other guy came in and got the actual hit, but Chris Jones forced him out of the pocket, put the pressure on him, and then these batted balls, man, were critical.
Oh, yeah, that's critical.
Chris Jones, to me, was the second best, most impactful Chiefs player in that Super Bowl.
Have we ever watched a Super Bowl and the MVP by the broadcast crew is saying, man, he's not playing well in the 3rd quarter? Like, think about these moments right here. I got a full screen right here to show you Patrick Mahomes when Troy Aikman was calling him out, as he should have. Look at these numbers through 3rd quarter. My wife just put my daughter down at that moment. In the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, she's like, this game's over. Passer rating 62.9. Look at that, 145 passing yards. I get it.
There's a reason why, Marcellus.
What's that?
Nick Bosa.
Oh, he was there in the fourth quarter?
And again, in my biggest game in my college career, I put a quarterback in the same position Patrick Mahomes was in for 3 quarters because I couldn't deal with a dude. And that brought back nightmares yesterday. This dude was in Patrick Mahomes' head.
Most quarterbacks would have folded up their tent, neatly packed it, and rolled up out of there. But for the simple fact that he didn't, and for whatever happened in those first 3 quarters, I always say, a franchise quarterback does what? They do it in spite of, right? I always use in spite of.
I give you that.
They got down to it. The game is on the line, and you're down by a 2-possession type of deal, and he delivered the explosive plays. He did deliver. There's no way around it.
They were in striking distance in spite of Patrick Mahomes being suspect because of Damian Williams in the running game.
No.
There is bias against the running back position in the Super Bowl in terms of MVP. Last one to win it was Terrell Davis, 22 years ago. Y'all got to stop playing with me. Look, if y'all already say who's going to win it, he just got to mess it up, then that's a different conversation. I know Disney had that $1 million. Already got to give it to a Make-A-Wish kid. It's better when it comes from Patrick Mahomes than it is Damian Williams, I assume. It was all commercial propaganda, man.
I think what you're saying certainly played a role. No, without question.
Doubt.
I think this is what's best for the league, best for Disney World, best for the Kansas City Chiefs, best for me. I don't even know what I would have worn had Damian Williams. I don't know how to look like Damian Williams, but I do kind of like Patrick Mahomes.
Stop. Yeah, you laughing.
but on a serious note.
What?
Those are factors, you're right.
And these are factors. Give us a wide screen. Look at that shot. That's at Disney World now.
That's
Look at D. Williams right there.
That diminishes.
That's how they all count. So I don't understand you don't want to
what that man did in the last 7 minutes of that game. I can't allow that.
It's a 60-minute game,
I
but we don't say
allow
7.
that. Yes.
He brought him back because of David Williams.
Had the same.
Who scored 2 of those touchdowns?
Garoppolo had the same opportunity.
Somebody threw one to him.
Yeah.
And then he got the garbage
5 yards.
He got the garbage one at the end.
Garbage. But it's only 4. It's a 4-point game.
That was a garbage touchdown.
It's 24-20, but it's garbage.
I don't want to beat up Damian Williams. I really don't.
We're not, but that's the end of the game.
It's the end of the game.
His nickname is playoff wins.
But y'all beating him up for the wrong reason.
I'm not beating him up.
No, y'all beat him
that
for
touchdown
the
was at
wrong
the end of the game.
The problem I had with Damian Williams is the smart play would have been to fall down at the 5-yard line.
So that you could win your bet.
Kneel. No. Oh. So you can. No. You don't give them the ball back.
Oh, yes, I do in the Super Bowl.
No.
I need that MVP.
If he stops at the 5, they kneel out the clock and the game is over.
But
they never get the by scoring the touchdown, he gave him the ball back. Anything could happen.
He knew that they were going to rig this against him. And he's like, I need all the credit I can get. Oh, Damian.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.